Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're all staying safe and adhering to the lockdown. Jazakallah for joining me on this week's An-Nur of the Light. We live in a rich biodiverse country, and it is up to each and every one of us to take care as much as possible. Luckily, our community is blessed with individuals who actively contribute by studying, participating, and engaging within nature. Khalid Mather is that person.
This world and all within it has been given as a trust to us. Part of our job on earth is to care for and protect the natural environment through involving ourselves in it. Khalid Mather, a young man from a small town in KwaZulu-Natal, who took this task to heart and is giving all he can to uphold it.
What got me going about the environment was I felt like I wanted to do something for everyone. For everyone meant that I had to find something that was common to everyone. And we all feel the sunlight on our skin, we all drink water, we all breathe air. These are components of the environment. So I thought, let me see what's the largest issue facing mankind. And to me, it seemed climate change, global warming, biodiversity loss. These were the overwhelming issues that would affect mankind across the spectrum. So I decided to jump into environmental science to try and make a small change for the fate of humankind.
Khalid sees himself as an environmental activist. He's been able to surround himself with like-minded individuals who act not only as mentors, but also inspire him to do more.
Some of the values that he holds is just being real, being himself, and being the voice for the voiceless, if I may put it that way. He is not the type that will push his privileges forward, because to be honest, you can see, I felt like he didn't need anything, but for him to step forward and say, hey, I can talk on your behalf, and he's very honest. He's a very honest human being, and loving and caring.
Islam teaches a way of life where a Muslim should be judged by their actions and the way they live their lives. This belief is what drives Khalid not only to do good, but also lead by example.
I started incorporating Islam into my environmentalism a bit later. There's a great quote I would like to, just drop here. It's by Werner Heisenberg. He says, when you take the first sip from the glass of natural science, you become an atheist. But at the bottom, God is waiting for you. That's because the environment and biodiversity and the life support systems of Earth are so intricately interwoven that you realize there's actually some sort of master plan holding us together. And that's why I went steadfast into the activism realm. So my Islam has really helped me and given me a great appreciation for all the wonders of this world.
Every day on earth is a blessing, and Khalid is lucky to be able to do something that he absolutely loves.
It's really helped me as a human being to become more centered, to understand that this is something I can be good at, but not only that, this is something I can teach others to do. What I am is nothing really special. It's the counterforce. If there's pressure from above, the earth pushes back against that pressure. If there's malaise and violence and cruelty and all of these things in society caused by exploitation and inopportunity, I and the people after me, the youth after me, we're just going to embody the counterforce. We're going to be the balancing act to the problems of society. It's really shaped me because I feel like I'm a fighter in this great unknown war that most people are just living through, trying to make it happen.
I'm more of an environmental educator, so that's the field that I'm coming in. And he's bringing in a wealth of knowledge. He's so interested about climate change, and he's been doing GIS, so he's got lots that he does. So I think our passion, how it all boiled together, was the fact that I love people and he loved people as well. So we've been going out to a lot of community engagements, like we're meeting up with communities, and we'll stand up there doing presentations together, because our passion is protecting the ocean, looking after the ocean, because this is also people's lives,
The 2010 Soccer World Cup brought with it an excessive amount of carbon emission. In order to offset this, government created the Buffelsdry Restoration Project. Khalid spent a year of his life working here, and it was one of the most memorable experiences.
So the Buffalo's Dry Community Reforestation Project is actually a masterstroke of the eThekwini municipality. Back in 2010, we had the Soccer World Cup in South Africa that was going to generate and did a lot of carbon. So one of the elements to offset that carbon was to plant tons of trees. What's around here is actually a landfill in the middle of this forest, and it is surrounded by cane veld. So the municipality bought different plots of cane veld and started transforming it, rehabilitating it, reforesting it back into indigenous forest. All throughout like hectares of land around the landfill, which you have to keep excluded from people because of the pollution that the landfill causes, is actually being transformed back into a forest for wildlife and birds and indigenous and rare plants. So I was involved in the administration of that for a while. Some parts project management, some parts actually doing the ecological work, like going out into certain areas and looking for tiny millipedes, like really the smallest of creatures, and looking for them and saying, oh, okay, this part of the forest is healthy because we got so many millipedes per square meter. So yeah, it was a great opportunity and a great experience.
Durban is a seaside paradise with many activities happening in and around the ocean. Being an environmental activist is not just about fulfilling a task, but it is an actual calling that Khalid takes to heart. He dedicates his time in championing issues that affect communities who use the ocean not just for leisure, but also as a means of getting food.
Khalid has a wide knowledge of environmental and climate change issues in the world. It's really helped us in terms of education. So a lot of work, our work is focused on educating communities and training communities on how they can lobby against polluting industries. So he comes in and he does presentations on the ocean and what we can do, what's allowed, what's not allowed, how the people can be active citizens in their areas. So a lot to do with education and mobilizing people.
Yeah, so the fisher folk represent an element of what is known as the coal face or the shoal face, the people at the forefront of utilizing natural resources. Natural resources become very limited when other people or people in power are dictating their management. Accessibility, opportunity, even just having the means to talk about it, the knowledge about it becomes very limited because we have to fight for these rights to be educated, to have access to the beach, to the piers. So I got more intimate with the livelihoods of the fishermen and how they depend on fishing for their psychological well-being, their physical well-being, their financial well-being, through also the EIA processes, because any development that would happen on the coastline needed stakeholder engagement. So here you got a century-old kind of practice fishing. Now they have to transform into ocean stakeholders. Where's the bridging gap between that? I'm coming from the academic background, but do the fishermen have that opportunity? No. So that's how I tried to insert it myself.
It is narrated in a hadith that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The world is sweet and green, and verily Allah is going to install you as vicegerents in order to see how you act." Taking care of the earth is thus seen as a religious duty for Muslims, and Khalid Mather is fulfilling this important function.
Just seeing KwaZulu-Natal makes me miss traveling, but this pandemic has become even more devastating, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. Helping us cope through this time is our local wellness expert, Zainab Ebrahim, with some much-needed advice.
I greet you with the universal greeting of peace. So today I'm going to talk about ways to improve your emotional well-being. So we all have inner conflict within us. There's moments where we feel really happy, really good about ourselves and good about life. And then there's moments where we feel really stressed and worried and anxious. So there's this continuous inner conflict within us. The question then becomes, how do we combat this? And the answer is through meditation. So meditation is really when you are really calm and really centered and there's no inner conflict. You're actually in a very neutral state. So people asked Buddha, what did you gain from meditation? And he said, let me tell you what I've lost. I've lost anger. I've lost insecurity. I've lost depression. I've lost fear of old age and I've lost fear of death. So as you can see, there are numerous benefits if we implement this as a daily practice. So you might be wondering, well, if I pray 5 times a day, why do I need to meditate? And the question then becomes, well, you would know that the Prophet would go into a cave for days in seclusion to actually meditate and reach this very calm, centered state. So the question then becomes, okay, so how do I meditate if I do want to implement this as a practice? And it's really, really easy, and I'll explain to you how. So what you want to do is you want to try and do this as early as possible in the morning. So the question then becomes, how do I meditate? And it's really, really simple. What you want to do is to try and do it as early as possible, close to waking up. Because when you wake up, you're still in a brainwave of theta or alpha. And that is when you're really calm, you're really focused, you're really tapped in. If you wait for too late in the day, you reach a state which is our waking state, which is the beta state, and that's the most stressful state that you're in. So ideally early in the morning, in a very quiet, serene space. And you don't need to sit in a Buddha position. Many people believe you need to do that. You just need to, I do it on a couch with a nice pillow as support, because I want to support my body so that I'm really tapped in and really relaxed and calm. And you want to try to do it for at least 2 minutes. So you might think, 2 minutes is easy, but we have so many thoughts that run through our mind. So what you'll notice is when you actually close your eyes and focus on your breath, these thoughts will come up. And a lot of us think, okay, so when I meditate, I have to have no thoughts. And that is not ideal, because when you do that, you're actually in a state of resistance because you're trying to push those thoughts aside. My suggestion would be to just allow the thoughts to come up. So let them come up, and as they come up, just allow them as if you're releasing them mentally, and they're just floating by like clouds in the sky. And you just bring your awareness back to your breath, deep in through your nose, slowly out. And you'll notice your mind goes, and all you do is bring it back to the awareness of your breath, deep in, slowly out. And over time, try and build that up to at least 10 minutes. Yes, 10 minutes, that's great news, is you only need to do it for 10 minutes a day, which will combat a lot of the stresses throughout your day. And if you implement this, and my suggestion is to continue daily increasing it over time to 10 minutes, as it takes 30 days to change the way you think or to install a new habit. So I can, talk on and on about the benefits of meditation, and I'll just mention a few. The benefits of meditation is it reduces the symptoms of negative emotions. It reduces the symptoms of stress and anxiety. It calms you. It energizes you. And my personal favorite is it slows down the aging process. So my suggestion is, and I strongly encourage you to really implement it as a daily practice. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then try and get out in nature as often as possible. Really connect with the trees or the ocean, as that has the exact same effect as if you were meditating. And I'll end with this. There's a saying that goes, when you crack an egg from the outside, life ends. But when you crack an egg from the inside, life begins. So I encourage each and every one of you to live life from within, because everything you need is within you. You just need to create moments where you are actually tapping into that. So until we meet again, I wish you a blessed week ahead.
Many people have lost their livelihoods, none more so than our local ulemah and the assistants who take care of our mosques. A group of Muslims in Cape Town have set up a project that looks to help out.
Mosques are the primary places of worship for the Muslim faithful. Every day, 5 times a day, at different times, they flock here, answering the call and submitting themselves before Allah.
As we all know, the masjid is the focal point of the Muslim community, and likewise also the imam plays an important role. And for him to fulfill his duty to the best of his ability, he needs to be independent. He cannot sit and worry about his own family. He's got a duty towards his congregants, he's got a duty towards the community. And our imam answers unselfishly service the community.
Every mosque has a committee who oversees the affairs, elected by the community or staffed by volunteers. It has a religious scholar as the spiritual head and assistants who help with the day-to-day functioning of the mosque. These people rely on the generosity of the community to pay their salaries through collection of money during the prayer gatherings.
Traditionally, it is by collections and having fundraising and so on. But as we see, that's also not easy. The state doesn't assist. But what would then happen is that all the money that is collected on a Friday, fundraising, that would assist the maintenance and the upkeep of the masjid. As the community grows, responsibility grows, and today finance plays an important role. That's why you find that masajid is in a more affluent areas are better able to take care of certain, when it comes to their responsibility towards the community. They are able to run their mosque more efficient, while masajid in more sub-economical areas becomes more difficult because they don't have the necessary finance.
So often the people in the front line are left out of hand as there isn't enough money to cover their salaries and that of the mosque, such as utilities, rates and water. A group of friends came together to find a solution for their local mosque, and this has ended up with a campaign that aims to uplift every mosque in the region.
Masjid Love was an initiative, a dream that started about 10 years ago. It was always just a dream of two best friends. But because life happened and we never got it off the ground, we always said maybe inshallah one day when we retire, we'll have time on our hands, inshallah, and we will start this initiative. Then COVID happened, and we heard a program on the radio where they were highlighting the fact of the struggling masajids, and that was on the day of Arafah. And they also spoke about the corporate women, and they said, why are the corporate women not getting together? And I immediately phoned my friend of 30 years. I told her, they're talking about us on the radio. She said, but nobody knows us. And I said, they're talking to the corporate woman. We can't delay this. And that is how we started during COVID.
The initiative came to be known as Masjid Love and is being run by an able team of professionals and volunteers. After setting up office, they have taken on the task of collecting funds and disbursing to mosques across Cape Town.
I am the chairperson of Masjid Love, and then we have a vice chairman, Imam Shamil Basadin, and then my husband, Fakhri Cornelius. We are the core group. Kamila, my best friend of 30 years, she is the secretary and she's also involved with the marketing. And then her husband, Ikram, he is the treasurer of Masjid Love. Then we've got two full-time consultants. It's my sister who has been with us for the past 10 years. Everything is in a spreadsheet. She's doing Excel spreadsheets for everything. She's learning computer skills, telephonics. She's just grown. And then we have another full-time consultant, Halima, is my daughter. So you'll hear we're all family and friends, but we welcome, we've got 10 ambassadors. And we welcome whoever wants to latch on to us. Alhamdulillah, there is something to do.
Masjid Love approached the South African National Zakah Fund to partner with them and handle the administration of the fund. The organization has a long and trusted history of seeing to the needs of those less fortunate.
First of all, SANZF and Masjid Love has been together since inception. Before Masjid Love was started, SANZF was with him. So it means whatever Masjid Love does, it has been done through SANZF and Masjid Love. The accounts and the money is kept by SANZF. The debit orders and the cash has been receipted by SANZF. And the distribution of the money is also being done through SANZF.
It has taken some innovative thinking, but the campaign is seeing results. They've put together a media campaign that is seeing more and more people sign up to the monthly contributions.
So we've got a website, we're on Facebook, so people They can contact our consultants. They will forward everything to them. So there's so many places. You can go into the Sons of offices. They will also supply you with details about us. But the main, what we request is a debit order, a minimum debit order of about 50 Rand a month. So we welcome any donation, alhamdulillah.
Masjid Love was centered together, besides only the financial one. Now we can put programs in to uplift the community holistically. We look at a youth program. Normally communities say we don't have enough funds. So Masjid Love and SANZF now can come in and say, we have so much budgeted for your youth programs, for your housewife programs, towards your feeding scheme. So all this together holistically will now uplift the area from having nothing, no programs, to having a fully fledged, like any affluent areas have it, because of their funds. So they will also have funds now to do programs, so we'll lift them up to a better standard.
In being a part of this campaign, Muslims are supporting not only their mosque, but the people who are an essential part of running it. For too long, these people and places have been left to the mercy of donations and quietly suffered when there wasn't enough. They deserve more, and they deserve better. It's up to us to ensure they get not only that recognition, but also the compensation due.
I cannot urge enough the need for my sisters and brothers to be careful and to adhere to the rules and regulations meant to keep us safe. That's it from me this week. Kinna mari mokwanda, kiri ari boeri bonaneng hape. Assalamu alaikum.